Hey everyone, this is Samit. Welcome back to Talks on Ground. Hope you're well. So, as October 7th approaches, it's not good news. The Iran Israel conflict is escalating. In fact, on 27 September, Hassan Nasrallah was killed by a Israeli airstrike in Beirut, and it has left Hezbollah, the militant Lebanese organization, leaderless. There are rumors that the next in line has also been killed. And this was followed by that infamous pager strike, which I think crippled Hezbollah in a big way. Remember, these are all Iranian proxies. And I think 2 days earlier, before this strike on Hezbollah, there was the head of the Israeli Defense Forces has made a comment saying that the Israeli forces have to be ready for uh, ingress into Lebanon. Now, this was Herzi Halevi. Now, we know 2 days back there's been this barrage of ballistic missiles that Iran launched on Israel, escalating this conflict way beyond anyone's imagination right now. According to some media reports, and I read one report which was there on the Bulgarian military. So they are claiming that the strike on Tuesday by Iran has really damaged a couple of Israeli air bases, and those air bases had some F-35s that were standing there or whatever parked there, and they were 20 of these were destroyed. Now, obviously, all both sides will make certain claims, and it is not our job to kind of decide whether one side is right or not. But the fact is that Israel has about two of these squadrons in their armor, and the claim is that Nevatim Airbase was completely destroyed, and there were some videos on social media that are claiming the same thing. Now, these claims appear to be, I would say, not very authentic, but at the same time, there has been no out of the way denial by Israel. Yes, there was a statement, but it shows that there's some truth to what the Iranians are claiming. Maybe there's some damage to the runway, whatever. So obviously, the Iranian regime wants to show to their people and people who support them around the world, in the Muslim world, that these strikes were a success and took Israel by surprise, which is a surprise because most of those missiles didn't really end up striking where they should, and most of them were brought down by the Americans and the Israeli forces. So, having said this, I will have to say that this is a very dangerous time because just 2 weeks back, or lesser than that, things were starting to fall into place because Iran hadn't really responded to all that Israel had done, especially with respect to Hezbollah and their ongoing strikes in Gaza itself, which has really been flattened. Now, I feel that from here on, because Iran has already done what they had to do, and they would hope that Israel doesn't escalate to a point where they have to respond again. I think there is a chance that this conflict will go in a very, very dangerous direction, and that direction can be when Israel directly attacks Iran's air bases or their oil facilities. In fact, the US has made a statement like that, and um, that's very, very dangerous because even though Iran is under sanctions and they don't sell a lot of their oil in the open market, but they do sell their oil. And remember, as a quirk of the oil industry, once this any well is closed or bombed or whatever, then it cannot be reopened. Or if you do reopen it, it becomes commercially unviable at this point in terms of technology. So this will have a direct impact, and it has already impacted crude oil prices, which went up by almost as much as $5, both Brent and the Middle Eastern oil. And this is going to spur further inflation, even though 70 was like the lower level for a long time. So therefore, I think it's a very, what should I say, a very dangerous situation, even for India, because for us, oil prices, and for China, by the way, for China and India, oil prices are a key component of what keeps both countries growing. I'm not going to talk so much about China, but as far as India is concerned, India has to ensure that the crude oil prices don't go over, say, 80, 90. If they go up to 150, 180, it's going to be a major, massive problem. And I think the Indian government is well aware of this. And they are going to talk to their partners in the West and everywhere and see if there is a way to kind of walk back from this kind of hyperbole. The other thing that can happen as a result of this strike by Iran is central banks will react to this crude oil price hike and the growth problems the economies around the world are having. And this can, what I'm hearing is that there will be a reduction in the interest rates that can spur growth. But the major problem with conflict is that sea lanes get blocked out, and that's a problem. There will be an impact on US elections basis the Arab Americans who will go out and vote for a certain party basis actions that Biden takes or doesn't take. Right now, they've really backed the Israelis in their action. One has to see how this plays out further. Remember, Jews have a big lobby. There's this whole conspiracy about the Jewish lobby. So that's also going to play a role. Now, remember, if Iran starts bombing Israel and Israel starts retaliating, the one thing this will head into is a regime change in Iran. Because whatever said the radical Islamic regime that Iran has is not very popular at home. And if they are seen to be losing this battle, then it's game up. Now that'll completely redraw the geopolitical map in Asia if that were to happen. On the other hand, if there is de-escalation that happens, that will open up the doors to a new election in Israel, and that can cause Netanyahu to lose his seat. So it's a very strange situation that right now Netanyahu would want to have the war continue. I'm not saying that this is the reason, but there is a incursion in Lebanon which is taking place. So the elections are not being held. If there is peace, then there can be elections, and if there are elections, then Netanyahu might lose. On the other hand, if there is a escalation, then it's going to bring down the Iranian government one way or the other. So and this will all impact the US election. So these are the multiple things that are happening. There are other effects and downstream and upstream effects and side effects and so on. Maybe something will happen in Syria or something could happen elsewhere in the Middle East because of what's happening. But all said and done, this has kind of destabilized the region and the world at a very critical time. And I think from here to January 20th is a very interesting set of events that can take place. Some of them have already happened. So let's see how this goes. This was Summit from Talks on Ground. If you liked what I had to say and if you liked the video, please like it, subscribe to my channel, and share it with your friends and family, whoever is interested. So thank you very much and good night.